Hey, what's up, everybody? I did a video on this before. Well, not a video, but an audio on this before, but I erased it because, quite frankly, I had a lot of audios going on, and, with so much going on behind the scenes, it's like, I couldn't really do much. Excuse me. And what I mean behind the scenes, personal stuff and things like that. So, I basically decided to erase and just start over, if you know what I mean. And I talked about this, and when I talked about it, I felt though maybe I didn't give as much detail, as I would like to give. But one thing that I've noticed a lot of people talk about, whether it's PW Insider, the Off the Rope Show Central, OTRS Central, or the British Fist, or whoever, Tree of Woe, Chase Oliver, whoever. One thing I've noticed that they've all talked about is the fact that they all seem to say in their own way, not deliberately say it, but kind of say in their own way. Hold on for a sec. I had to do something there. But they would say in their own unique way, and I could say not deliberately, but say in their own unique way that they feel as though TNA is trying to live off the legacy of ECW. And that might be true in some cases, but I think what TNA is trying to do, and heck, even WWE is guilty of this, is they're trying to give the wrestling fans, the internet fans, the smart marks, if you will, something to get them off their chest, or get them off their backs, I should say. Hold on for a sec. Here comes some cars. Sorry about that. But anyway, what I was saying is that the reason, they do this is to get these fans off their backs. But also, it's to show respect to what that company did for the business. I mean, think about it. If it wasn't for ECW, WWE wouldn't have adapted some of its attitude. Now, you might say it was also because WWE was getting their butts kicked in the Monday Night Wars, and that's true. That's true also, and that contributed to it. But ECW basically showed WWE, hey, you need to go in areas that, WCW hasn't even gone into yet. You need to go to areas that WCW won't yet. And that's what they did. ECW basically showed that you can go in those kind of areas and actually become a success. Sorry about that. But like I said, it actually showed that you can go into these kind of areas and be a success. You can be an absolute success by going and venturing into these areas. And true, WWE adopted that ECW attitude style and made it their own. Don't get me wrong there. But again, going back to what I'm saying, the reason WWE and TNA and even some of the other organizations out there, like perhaps Ring of Honor, perhaps CZW, even though they're more of an ultraviolet version of ECW themselves, all they're trying to do is basically in my opinion, is showing respect to what the company did, to basically the legacy that the company left behind, and show respect to that and the company, but also give the fans, the smart marks, the hardcore bloodlust fans, if you will, something to get them off their backs. I mean, think about it this way. Think about it this way. When Extreme Rules happened over the past 2 years, the past 2 years of Extreme Rules, how brutal and violent was it? Some of the matches. How surprising at the brutality was some of the matches. Very surprising. I mean, heck, I can go back and watch Extreme Rules from 2013, if you will, 2013, and see how brutal CM Punk Chris Jericho was. Or 2012, whatever it was. Yeah, 2012. I go back and I could see that and see how brutal it was. And believe me, that's probably the most brutal street fight. That's probably the most brutal street fight I had ever seen in a long time, especially from WWE standards during a PG era. So, you know, that was definitely surprising. Hold on for a second. You might hear some cars, but that's it. But hold on for a sec. Alright, sorry about that. I was walking by a city pool and I didn't want anybody saying anything. And I'm walking by the local skate park, so hold on for a sec again. Huh, no one's there. Oh, never mind. Hold on. Yeah, sorry about that. Hold on for a sec. Alright, sorry about that. I had to let some people get ahead of me. But anyway, like I said, that street fight 2 years ago at Extreme Rules was probably the most brutal I've ever seen. And then, of course, you had the street fight again this year, or no DQ match this year, Extreme Rules basically, with Daniel Bryan and Kane. And what did they incorporate there? A flaming table. That's what they incorporated, a flaming table. Hold on for a sec. Sorry for all the noise. But like I said, you know, 2 years ago, you had the street fight with Jericho and Punk, and that was very ECW-like. And then, of course, this year you had the Extreme Rules match between, Daniel Bryan and Kane. And towards the end of that, incorporated a flaming table. So you don't tell me if you don't. So you can't tell me that WWE and companies like them and TNA and whoever else you can't tell me that they're not trying to show respect to the ECW brand, that they're trying to show respect to what that company left behind in its legacy. And that is why you have fans always chanting ECW. That's why you have fans always chanting that. Even when you have people like Tommy Dreamer and Team 3D, the Dudley Boys, if you will, standing in the ring and the people are chanting ECW, it's out of respect. That's why they do it. They don't do it because of anything else. Maybe they do it because of certain other things, and I'll get to that in a moment. But they do it because it's out of respect for what they, along with the ECW company, did for the business. And they want more of that. They want more of that. That's why they chant it. I mean, whether you like Shane Douglas or you don't like Shane Douglas, you got to give the guy credit for the fact that he attempted to give back to the fans that chanted ECW. He tried to give them the resurrection with Extreme Rising. And true, it did not succeed in the manner that ECW did, but still, he tried to give them He tried to give them that resurrection. He tried to give them that real second coming of ECW. He tried to give them that real second coming of ECW. And did it succeed? Well, when it first started up, it definitely generated some buzz, but did it really succeed? No. In the end, it folded. And yeah, all because of the same situations the original ECW folded up from. And that is, well, one of the main reasons, financial problems. Financial problems and sometimes bad booking and stuff like that. But again, it's all about paying respect to the legacy. Paying respect to the contributions that this company and those involved with this company gave to the wrestling business. That is why you have fans always chanting that. That is why you always have companies like TNA, WWE, and some of the indie promotions out there, maybe even Ring of Honor, trying to, as some of you say, leech off of that legacy. It's because it's not leeching, because when you think about it, it's not leeching off folks. It's out of respect. They want to give back to the they want to give back to the business, give back to the fans by letting these ECW guys and letting that legacy kind of live on in some ways. At TNA right now, you may think it's stupid that they're going in this direction, but you know what? They're doing it because they want to. They're doing it because they want to give back to the fans, and they want to give back to those that were part of the original ECW. They want to give back to to those that were part of ECW and contributed to it. They want to give back to the fans that helped put ECW on the map and went out, and let's not forget, petitioned ECW's Barely Legal to be put on pay-per-view. Let's not forget that. And that is why fans always chant ECW. Now, true, maybe part of the chanting is to maybe hopefully someday get a real resurrection, a real second coming of Extreme, a real rebirth of an ECW-like brand that will make all the wrestling companies around, whether it's TNA, WWE, Ring of Honor, wake up and take notice. They're hoping for that. They are hoping for that. And maybe that's also why they chant ECW. And it's not just out of respect for what the company and those involved did for the wrestling business. Maybe they chant it because they're hoping somebody's going to hear these chants, see how much ECW still means, and how much there's still a foothold in the wrestling business today for a company like an ECW to be shared, to be seen, to be watched. That perhaps in their minds, in their hearts, and in their dreams, they're going to get that resurrection. They're going to get that resurrection. They're going to get that real second coming. And that's all they want. And that's why they do these chants. Mostly, again, like I said, out of respect for the contributions that the ECW brand and those involved in ECW, the wrestlers, the men and the women, contributed to the business, and how they helped turn this business around and made it what it was and still could be again. But they also chant because they are hopeful. They want a second coming. They want that next ECW to rise up, if you will, to rise up and help turn the business around. Now some might say TNA could be that ECW because of what they're doing, because of the fact that they are turning the corner again. They're going back to the roots. They're putting more emphasis and focus on the division that redefined the company, the X division. They're bringing back the one thing that definitely differentiated them from everybody else, the six-sided ring. And that slowly but surely they're trying to build back up the Knockouts division, which also differentiated them from everybody else. And that slowly but surely they might be doing the same with the tag division. But the point is that's what fans, that is why fans chant this. That is why fans come out and chant ECW on a daily basis, not daily basis, but on a basis, but on a rare, if not weekly basis. I mean, think about it this way, folks. Think about it this way. If you're a Family Guy fan, let's say you're a Family Guy fan. When Family Guy got canceled originally, hold on for a sec. When Family Guy got canceled originally, people were pissed. They were mad. They were outraged. They petitioned. They did videos, emails, demanding Family Guy come back because Family Guy, in a sense, was like their ECW. I know that's a strange comparison, but it's true. And what happened? Fox listened. And Fox gave them back Family Guy. And because of that, we now have a crossover between it and the most iconic primetime animated show of all time, The Simpsons. The point is, folks, the point is, for anybody listening, this is why fans chant for ECW, out of respect to the company and those involved with the company for everything they did for the business and helping it turn its corner. Like I was saying, out of respect for what the company did and for the men and women involved and how it and they helped the wrestling business at the time, from WCW to mostly WWE, turn that corner and become what they were and still could be again. Well, mostly WWE and TNA now, and Ring of Honor. What they were and what they could be again. And yes, they also chanted because they are hopeful. They are hopeful someday they will get another ECW. They will get another second coming. They will get a real resurrection. A real second coming, a real rebirth of the ECW brand. That is why they chanted. That is why you have companies in the end, in closing, that is why you have companies do these ECW-like angles, why they have these ECW-like tribute shows, why they carry on the legacy, like why WWE does the Extreme Rules, which was originally ECW One Night Stand, why they do the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, why they keep the Extreme Rules match, out of respect and for the contributions that company and those involved made. Why do you think TNA had Hard Justice and then renamed it Hardcore Justice for that one night for the ECW reunion show and then kept that name? Why do you think they bring in sometimes these ECW originals? Respect. Out of respect and for the contributions the company made and they made along with it. And that is also why fans chant ECW. And again, like I said, maybe they are hopeful. You got companies in little indie companies like Tommy Dreamer's House of Hardcore that make them hopeful that someday they're going to get something like that down the line. And maybe someday they will. You know, maybe someday they will. But that is why, in closing, folks, why ECW why fans chant ECW, why they chant it, why companies do these ECW extreme-like angles. Out of respect for the contributions this company and those involved made, and perhaps maybe because hopefully, as the fans go, they're hopeful someday you'll get another ECW. You'll get another real resurrection and another real rebirth.